Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble?
Ah!
In this corner, we have Sting from 2024 with an R rating, a tiny little spider that crash lands through the Earth's atmosphere, lands in a family's home, and consumes a few people along the way. And in the other corner, we have got Cobwebs from 2023. Cobwebs is a definite creature feature and featuring a family that's full of suspense, but in this bout, there can be only one winner, and one of them get knocked the out. Let's rumble!
Rotten pumpkins, I invoke the Pumpkin King.
Seriously, guys, have you ever noticed how these movies come out in kind of duplicates? Maybe not released in the same month or even 6-month period, but maybe a year apart. Very similar movies, kind of having the same theme. So we have two movies today with similar kind of themes. They're both horrors and they're both based around a family. Now, one of them involves a giant, well, it starts out as a little baby arachnid, grows to epic proportions. The other one involves, I don't want to spoil it because I haven't reviewed it yet, and I know a lot of people might want to see this movie. The other movie involves what you think might be an arachnid with the title and then the trailer and then a couple of little shots of spiders during the movie, but then it becomes something altogether different. For some, it may be even more terrifying than a spider. For some, maybe less terrifying. But let's take a look at these movies and let's figure out which one you're going to choose for your movie night, because I have a definite recommendation. Starting with Sting.
You called about the noises in your walls, right?
Oh, no, not me.
You sure about that?
Sting is a 2024 horror film written and directed by Kia Roche Turner, and it stars Ryan Corr, Aya Brown, Penelope Mitchell, and Robin Nevin. This film follows a young girl who secretly raises a spider as her pet, which then transforms into a giant monster. And this is true. I did a full in-depth review on this channel, and we're not going to do a full in-depth review here. We're going to do the basics versus the basics, and we're going to pick a winner. So with this movie, Sting, this little tiny spider crash lands through the Earth's atmosphere and crashes through a house, particularly, right through the window, and it lands in the middle of a little dollhouse. And this girl finds this little tiny spider. She catches it, she keeps it, she raises it, she feeds it, and it grows. And it's not just any spider, it's an alien spider, and it's also a smart spider. This spider has the ability to communicate and mimic. Really cool premise. The film also revolves around this girl and her family issues, mainly her relationship with her mother and her stepfather, and an absent father, and the issues that creates. This movie did focus a lot on those relationships. The acting was stupendous. They did a great job. It's a really, really well-made movie. It also involves this spider, which does grow to epic proportions, and it does eat some things, and there is some disturbing material. There's some incredible practical effects in this movie that I absolutely loved. There's a little bit of CGI, not a ton, but the practical effects were great. There was some dark horror elements that will certainly scare you. So for this movie, we have the family element, we've got the spider element, we've got the horror, we've got some gore, we've got some really cool creature feature stuff. Sting really produced for a movie with a fairly, medium to low budget with great practical effects. It had a pretty cool build up, and then it had a really solid finale. maybe it was a little predictable, but overall, it worked, and it worked really well. I left the movie completely happy with what I had just seen. So, Sting just threw some punches. Now we're going to jump over to Cobwebs. Bam, boom! Sting came out swinging. This alien spider is not going down without a fight. But now it's time for Cobweb. Cobweb's about to unleash some happy sauce. So, Cobweb is a 2023 American horror film directed by Samuel Bowden in his directorial debut. Its screenplay was written by Chris Thomas Devlin, was included in the 2018 Blacklist, and follows a young boy raised by overprotective parents who suddenly hears noises coming from behind his bedroom wall. This film stars Lizzie Kaplan, Woody Norman, Cleopatra Coleman, and Antony Starr. Does anybody know who Antony Starr is? Antony Starr plays in The Boys. Antony Starr is one of those incredible actors that just kind of stuns you with every performance. I can only speak for myself, but he brings something a little special, like a couple of splashes of this, a little bit of that. There's some oomph in his characters. I don't know what it is. He's a handsome, good-looking guy, but his performances always seem over the top, and he's really good at playing creepsters and jerks and bad guys. In this movie, he is the father of the boy whom this movie circles around. Cobwebs, I went into it thinking it was going to be a creature feature spider film, kind of the way I went into Sting. Sting, I thought, was going to be a creature feature spider film, and it produced. Cobweb, the name Cobweb, what makes cobwebs? Spiders. Even the trailer, spiders. Within the movie, you see a couple of spiders. So the movie is once again revolving around this family dynamic. This boy, he seems troubled. He's not happy at home. We're not sure why. His parents seem okay. The boy is suddenly hearing these knocks coming from within his walls. What are these knocks? Are these him creating this? You really don't know. As the film goes on, the dynamic between the boy and his parents starts getting really creepy and really suspenseful. This movie did a phenomenal job with the suspense element because you don't know what direction it's going. So there are going to be no spoilers here because this movie is one that leaves you hanging, thinking it's going to be this. Oh God, no, it could be this. Oh, wait, what is this? Yeah, it's one of those. And then the family dynamic, I don't want to say it implodes or explodes, but something big happens, and there is a creature feature element to this movie, and I'm not going to spoil it. I loved the suspense in this movie. I did not love the actual creature feature element. And without giving away any spoilers, let me just say this. There is something that has been used time and time and time again in horror movies that apparently directors think is creepy and scary. For the first 5 or 10 movies, sure, but when you're 100 movies into this specific way of a human being behaving and acting, it's not scary anymore. And it becomes very like old, and yeah, you got to come up with something different. That pertains to the creature feature element within this film, but it does produce. There is horror and there is gore. It is campy and it's on Halloween. It's set in the days before Halloween and it leads up to Halloween, which is really cool. And the movie has that going for it. On Halloween night, there is a big occurrence. This movie does have a gore fest, and we're going to keep it at that without ruining the movie. I don't want to ruin this for anybody. So, boom. We have a lot of lefts. We have a lot of rights. We have some jabs. We have some uppercuts. Which one is getting knocked out? If I had to choose one of these movies, hands down, one is the victor. One has incredible elements. It really does. But one is just, in my opinion, a better movie. The victor in this death match is going to be Sting. Sting won this, but it was a close fight because Cobweb's produced with the acting and the suspense. Sting didn't have the suspenseful element that Cobweb had. So if you really did want something that has like a lot of suspense, but then the final showdown produces a ton of gore, but it's just kind of the creature feature aspect of it itself is kind of a letdown, even though it produces a lot of gore, Cobweb might be your champion. But for me, the champion is Sting. Sting was cool, it was fun, it was well acted, well scripted. It had a lot of great practical effects. It had some really creepy scenes, kind of campy, kind of cliche, but it was a fun, cool movie. So if I had to choose, it was going to Sting. But then again, Cobwebs came in just behind it, and it does hold that suspenseful element. So which one are you guys going to choose? Let me know down in the comments. You can also watch both. No harm in that. Double feature, creature feature, double feature. Get your popcorn, get your peanuts, your Raisinets, your goobers, whatever. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you liked this content. Hit that like button if you did not like this content. Please subscribe if you hadn't. That would really help the channel out. And on that note, I am out of here.